What's going on, everyone? We are back for another live edition of the Bleed Loss Podcast post-game show. The Dodgers dropped game 4 to the Blue Jays. The series is now tied 2-2. We're going to talk all about it. As you can see, we've got Anthony in the house. Producer Roger is behind the scenes at Dodger Stadium getting all of our post-game footage and interviews. And as you know, I am Drea. Before we get into everything, we want to make sure that you know about DodgersBeat.com. Stay up to date and in the know with all of the latest and most comprehensive coverage of the LA Dodgers. It is your one stop for articles, interviews, contests, merch, and more. Never miss a beat and check out DodgersBeat.com. Okay, Anthony, 24 hours late. Well, not even 24 hours. It's a little bit different timing because last night's game was so late. But yeah, not the outcome we wanted. But we are going to be heading to Toronto. General impressions of tonight's game.
It was awful from start to finish. I felt that Otani did enough to kind of get you the win, but again, it's going to come down to the offense. Just awful plate discipline, awful at bats, just no lack of moment. You're just going up there essentially hacking, looking for anything and everything. They did get a little rally going on here late, but little too late. But yeah, it was just awful all around.
Yeah, I was disappointed. It kind of had a strange feel because I mean, I really wanted them to have that game where we go 18 innings and we come back and still stay strong. And what would that have said about us? But yeah, do you think it was just kind of like general fatigue, or is it just kind of like the offense has just been off?
The offense has been off for a while, but I do want to give credit to Shane Bieber. He went out there and kind of dealt. The game plan, at least we said going into it, was like if we can chase them early and get into the bullpen, we get a lot of opportunities to kind of break this game open. But we just didn't chase them, and when we chased them, it was too little, too late kind of deal. Like the momentum was all on the Blue Jays side. The offense really has been lackluster for a while now, and it's starting to come back and bite them in the ass, unfortunately. Hopefully, they can rebound tomorrow. The last game of the year at Dodger Stadium. Last one to kind of leave an impression before we head back to Canada in a week's time or a few days' time.
And go through crazy customs all over again. But yeah, we're going to Toronto, and I had my dream, as you know, to see the title be won at Dodger Stadium and not in a at an away stadium. But that's going to have to wait for another year. I mean, originally you called it Dodgers in six. You know, you said it was going to go the distance. So, are you still somewhat confident that that could be still happen?
Yes, because Game 5 tomorrow belongs to Blake Snell, and Game 6 belongs to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So, utmost confidence in those guys to kind of get the job done. If it does go 7, coin flip at that point, toss up. I don't want it to go 7. I kind of want it to go 6 games. I don't think I can handle a Game 7 disappointment again, but we've lined up with our two best pitchers essentially. Blake Snell kind of had a rough outing for Game 1, so this is kind of an opportunity for him to bounce back. And Yoshi's kind of on a roll right now, so I still like our chances, but again, it's going to come back to the offense. The offense has looked awful throughout this series. Kind of did enough to survive against Milwaukee. Shohei kind of breaks out, but if you look at the numbers, it's just awful throughout. We have a lot of black holes up and down the whole lineup essentially.
Yeah, there are. And I feel like with the amount of talent that we have on the team and what we have seen throughout the month of October, you would think that we would really just have if what these two maybe are off one night, these two or these three will be, on point. And I almost feel like did we just get lucky going up 2-1 as of yesterday?
I think we did.
Yeah.
There's a real scenario right now where we're down 3-1, considering how yesterday's game, the outcome happened. But I don't know. It's just it feels like every time we're up to bat, I just expect the inning to go by really quickly. Especially when they made that pitching change and they went to Flaherty. I think I'm butchering that name.
Yeah,
Max
we think
Muncy only saw one pitch. Like a pitching change, like why don't we get him like to see what he has, like if he has control of any of his pitches, and the first pitch you see, I hate that approach of like the first pitch you see, you're gonna swing. Yeah, sometimes it works. Otani got that fastball and it worked out for him, but other situations like this, is a measly fly ball, and then Tommy Edman right after him follows it up with 3 pitches, and automatically you're out the inning. All you had to do was throw 4 pitches. Like, why don't you have some discipline and like patience when you're up there?
Isn't like that reminds me of just kind of what we used to be as the Dodgers. We used to be able to really work those pitcher counts. We really made sure that we kind of chased that pitcher away, made him work for it. And I feel like now we just kind of do these outings that are just like so uncharacteristic of the Dodgers that I remember at least from a year ago. So I mean, they only have what a couple more games to get it together, or we're going to like, a game seven, and there's not a lot of time to fix this, but yeah, I want to give a shout out to the chat because there's an active chat, lots of really interesting comments and questions. And yeah, we this exactly. I think it's YUTTZZ. Yes. Why do you think that the Dodgers swing at so many first pitches? Yeah, like exactly what you were saying. I mean, this is just not a characteristic of the Dodgers, and they cannot expect to win these next couple of games if we don't get it together. But yeah, I wanted to kind of just ask you about a year ago, Mookie was struggling, if you remember, at the plate a little bit, and it was Brent Honeywell. Do you remember that? That said, let's get out there and I'm just going to pitch to you till you get right. Do we need another Brent Honeywell to fix Mookie's bat?
You know what? It's been so bad, but like the last two at bats that he had were pretty encouraging. He ripped that one down the line. It's Ernie Clement is just playing amazing defense down at third base. He snagged it, and he
Mhm.
did end up getting a single here towards the end of the game. But the issue is, can he build off that momentum into the next game? Because I feel right now he's kind of stuck in that rut where he just pops everything up, pops everything up, pops everything up. So he's just getting underneath the ball. I don't know if he has to go and like see if his buddy JD Martinez can pick up a FaceTime call right now, work on some stuff. But I feel like he's just trying to do too much. He said it himself earlier on in the season. Just try enough to win the game. You don't have to necessarily be Mookie Betts, who was the MVP and all that. Just when you're up to bat and there's runners on, like even if you just make contact, let's see what happens. Let's make him make a play out there. You see what the Blue Jays are doing effectively. They're just putting the ball on the bat, and good things are happening for them. We have a lot of guys out there that are swinging for the fences. Yeah, we win games like that, but sometimes it's cool if we score a run, score maybe two runs in an inning. Like, let's see what happens. Maybe we build off that. But yeah, it's just like the approach from everyone, not just Mookie, like everyone throughout has kind of been awful.
Says the approach is awful, and I think that they really need to have like a come to Jesus moment tonight, and really maybe they need to get a good night's rest, and they really need to just kind of flick that switch on and says, remember who you are, remember what you're good at, and they have the talent in them. You just have to execute. But just kind of going to the Blue Jays for a second, I mean, they obviously took it on the chin last night. The game really could have gone either way. Whoever made a mistake first, it was going to win that game, or not win that game. And do you think that it really says a lot about the Blue Jays to take it on the chin the way that they did and then to come back strong today?
Yeah, they do have a lot of veteran players around them, so they probably just kind of say like, you know what, it happens, just shake it off. I think a younger team probably collapses this game, but they showed a lot of resolve and fought back today. We said it's not going to be an easy victory if we do end up winning this thing. The Blue Jays are a very formidable opponent. They deserve all the credit in the world. They do all the right things, kind of we finally met a team like we're matched up perfectly, and they really don't have any flaws. You kind of just have to execute your game plan to a T, and like hopefully they kind of run into outs in themselves. But yeah, it's frustrating because I feel like you just blown an opportunity here. Going up 3-1, you kind of give yourself breathing room. Shohei kind of gave you enough to win that game. And it's going to come back down to the offense. I know the bullpen kind of gave it up. But the offense, if you score runs, then you support your starting pitcher, you can guarantee that he'll go further and further into the game. Maybe not start the seventh inning with Shohei, but the way the seventh inning went anyway, maybe the guys that were in the bullpen anyway were going to give it up essentially. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I felt like we missed an opportunity here.
I think we did because I think like going against Shane Bieber, I think that I he pitched and he got his job done, but I felt like this was the game that I don't know if you felt that we really should have done a little bit better against him offensively. But yeah, talk to me a little bit more about Shohei because I mean he was a little bit of a mixed bag, not one of his best outings, but generally, do you think like it was an overall, there's he's not going to pitch again this season, but a positive, like things we see that were positive from him that he can maybe carry into, the next game offensively. I don't know.
See, I wouldn't say we won't see him pitch again this season.
Okay.
Because game seven, anything can happen. Any arms available if he has it in him for like an inning there. Just game seven, screw it. World Series on the line. You kind of need him. I'll throw that out there. But yeah, it was kind of a mixed bag today. I want to say the broadcast was saying he could possibly just be fatigued from being on base all day yesterday. He was on base 9 times, so I just felt like he was probably more focused on the pitching end. He wanted to really give these guys an opportunity to win, and ended up sacrificing his bat in the case this time around. But yeah, I think he really did look solid. I do think he's going to rebound tomorrow when he's up to bat tomorrow, but we'll see. I really do. I hate to say it, but I'm oddly confident about tomorrow. I know we just lost, but um, we're oddly confident about the next two games because we got our two horses going, and I feel like if we're going to end up winning it, it's going to be based off the back of them. But I don't know. We'll see what Blake Snell has tomorrow. Hopefully, he has command of his fastball. Shohei, I think, has to set the tone early, though. Whether it's a single, a double, or a walk or something, I think he just has to find himself in traffic early. Just put the pressure on Yes Savage to make a good inning out of nothing, basically.
Do you think Hugh Savage will be like as dominant as he was last time, being that he's on a slightly shorter bit of rest?
I still think because the adrenaline early on in the game is kind of what gets a lot of pitchers through the game early. So I think early on he'll be fine. I want to see where he's at closer to the third inning, fourth inning. Also, but it also would help if these guys put stress on him early. I hate when we say like, oh yeah, let's go. We have to chase this guy, chase this guy, chase this guy, and then you don't put any stress on him throughout the whole game. And then when you look up, it's like, damn, it's already like the sixth inning. Like, and this guy basically did his job. He already went 6 innings and he saved most of the bullpen from even appearing into this game. So the strategy tomorrow has to be just try to get as many stressful innings in him as possible. And if you chase him, you get back into that bullpen. You had some success, and hopefully you've had enough looks now where guys are starting to get familiar with what's going to come and what pitches look like and stuff like that. Because I'm afraid if Blake doesn't have command of one of his pitches, whether it's the curveball or the fastball, it can be a very long night tomorrow.
Is tomorrow must win for us?
I think so. Tomorrow is definitely a must win,
Oh my gosh.
considering that it's our last game here at home. And you're going back to Canada, hostile territory for 2 games, hopefully 2 games. If you lose tomorrow, tomorrow I'm labeling it as must win. You have to win tomorrow's game. Today, it was not a must win because you were up 2-1, and if you won it, cool. And if you lost, all right, heads up. Let's move on to tomorrow. But tomorrow definitely is a must win. It's the first time I've ever labeled a must win game.
Yeah, I know you don't use that lightly, and I feel like there is just no way we can. I mean, we can go back to Toronto and be down like that. So we have to go up tomorrow. Guys are going to have to get it done. We see some people in the chat said we're coming tomorrow. Boy, Chewy 7-11. We are coming tomorrow for sure. Now you can probably remind me of this, but when Snell has had like kind of like his little bit shakier outings, he comes back strong, right? So can we expect like a Snell revenge game? Being that he's had time to think about what went wrong before.
He's had time to think, and he's seen people approach their game plan differently now. I also think that he still has in the back of his mind the last time he ever pitched in the World Series where he got pulled early.
Mm,
I hope he's using that as a motivational factor. Like Dave Roberts has to essentially like pry this ball out of my dead hands essentially before he gets back into that bullpen. I hope he's really locked in. But again, I think Blake is going to do enough for us to win. It's not going to be solely on Blake Trinan, Blake Snell. It's going to be on the other nine 1 through 9 batters. They have to come through tomorrow and prove that you have some sort of life because you're guaranteed a game in Toronto. You're going to Toronto regardless of tomorrow's outcome. And if you're going into tomorrow the Toronto game down 3-2, that's an even more scary situation because we barely escaped with one victory out there. And now you're asking for 2 victories over a back-to-back stretch. So I don't know. I think Blake Snell is going to do his job tomorrow. My worry is the offense again. I just don't see the way it's been trending. I just don't see us scoring more than like enough runs, whatever that's like 3 or 4. I know we've scored a lot of runs in this World Series, but it just has gotten worse and worse, progressively worse. If you take away Freddie Freeman's home run last night, we've gone like a ton of innings just like looking awful. So. I think Blake Snell is going to do his job. Again, the worry is the offense. We're going to lose this World Series. It's going to be solely on the offense.
I do not want us to get this far and it to go down that way in flames. I mean, I'm not prepared for that heartbreak. But now, speaking to that, do we need to kind of go into a little bit of a desperate mode and make a little bit of a change in the lineup? Do you think Dave Roberts needs to consider it?
He has to. It's Andy Pages is the reason there's like such a black hole, but it's not him solely because there's black holes throughout the lineup. I don't know if you would just mix up the lineup, give a different look maybe here and there. I definitely would consider starting maybe Alex Hall instead of Andy Pages, but um, I don't know. Alex Hall himself hasn't looked good as well too at the plate. I think it's just a matter of I think Dave is just gonna ride with these guys and he's gonna hope that the results just or the numbers work out for him. But I don't know. The other option as well too. There's not many options we have on the bench as well too that I like would say like, oh yeah, you would put this guy here. Uh, yeah, it's just I don't know. And like some of those guys on the bench haven't picked up a bat for like a month either. I know they practice and all that, but it's the same thing as an in-game scenario. So yeah, I think the only difference they make is Alex Call just because he can work a walk, work a count or something like that, even make contact. But other than that, I don't see them replacing Edmund with like Rojas or Kim. Mookie's struggling, but he's gonna stay in that lineup. Muncy is struggling as well too. Kike is struggling a lot too as well too. It just feels like there's multiple like black holes throughout this lineup. It's not just one guy. It's just like the whole lineup has gone anemic at the wrong time.
Feel like I really, when I see the Blue Jays come up to bat, I have these really like thoughts. I don't like that. Oh my God, are they better than us offensively? And so I guess the hard question is, do they have a better lineup than us? What do you think?
See, you would look at the names and you would say like the Dodgers have a better lineup. I still think the Dodgers on paper have a better lineup. The only issue is that their lineup knows how to get on base. They're satisfied with a walk. They're satisfied with like a little bloop single, even an infield hit here and there. How many infield hits have we seen throughout this series? How many little bloopers have we seen throughout the series?
Mhm.
Their game plan is basically pass the baton. We're gonna pass the baton to the next guy. If I fly out and the runner moves over, I did my job. I passed the baton to the next dude. We our game plan essentially is go up there, look for a fastball. If we don't get it, we're gonna swing in the dirt because they're gonna throw us nothing but curveballs. It feels like we've abandoned the small ball game plan. We played a lot of games where we passed the baton, passed the baton, passed the baton, and we ended up scoring a lot of runs. But right now we kind of look like we're just like chasing and we're playing like the desperate team. We're looking like a team that's never played in the World Series before. A lot of desperation, a lot of hero ball, kind of just like if they kind of slow it down and just play their regular game, I think they'll be fine. But the Blue Jays have to credit to them. They've done a lot in this series to kind of make the Dodgers uncomfortable at the plate and offensively and defensively as well too.
They have. And I think that, we can't just be complete homers and not acknowledge that, we're playing a really good team. We are. We're playing the Blue Jays and they're amazing. And I can't take anything from them. And I give them a lot of credit. I still think that though it's within our reach, and I still at the end of the day feel like we're going to come out on top, but we do need to change our approach. We need to change it fast if we are going to do that. I want to talk a little bit about the bullpen because last night we were going on and on about how they had regained their status as straight up legitimate dogs. And I feel like it kind of reverted back to the nightmare that we all feared would come in this series. Initially, when Roberts went to Banda and Trinan, is there some other choice that he probably could have gone to that would have put this game into a place where we could save him?
Off the top of my head, see, the issue is that he let Shohei kind of ride out, and he got those two guys in scoring position. Had the inning played out differently, maybe like if you just go to Shohei and like, hey, sorry man, like I gotta just ride with my bullpen. Like, thank you for getting me here, but I gotta ride with any of these guys. Maybe it's a different story. Maybe Anthony Banda gets through it. But now that's two World Series games where he's kind of like blown up. Blake Trinan as well too. Two World Series games where he's blown up, and they've kind of fallen out of my trust circle. I don't trust those guys in high leverage anymore. The only Yesterday's game feels like a miracle now considering what happened. But Blake Trinan also gave up a run in that game yesterday, so I really don't know. He's gonna keep going to them just because he has no other options that he trusts. I really don't see unless the scenario calls for it. Maybe Emmett Sheehan. Emmett Sheehan looked good, but he's been also giving up loud hits here and there. The issue is just he's burnt a lot of these guys out. Like Will Klein, I think might be done for the series. Maybe if we go back to Toronto, he finds a way to get into this game. But if you look down the list of the names, there's really no one that I look at. I'm like, yeah, I want this guy in high leverage right now. And I'm like, it's getting kind of spooky. And like, the only guy I really trust right now is Roki. But even then, I kind of want to save him for the eighth and ninth inning. If he can go 2 innings, I kind of want that. I don't want to push it for a third. Right now, it's looking pretty bleak. I'm not gonna lie. It's looking pretty bleak in that bullpen as options come through. But I don't know. Maybe he just has to like go out there and test the guy out. Like whether it's Edgardo. Edgardo looked good, but there's also times where he doesn't have control and he goes like really wild, and like I just don't like it. Jack Dreyer looked pretty good today, but I don't think he's gonna be an option tomorrow because he pitched a lot today. So it's kind of just it's going to come back down to the starting pitching. The starting pitching is going to just have to go as long as possible. If they can make it to the seventh inning, cool. If they can even make it to the eighth inning and just like pass the baton to Roki, that's
Yeah.
even better. So that's kind of like where I am mentally. Like the starter has to execute pitches, execute a game plan, and just find a way to make it to Roki in the eighth and ninth inning. That's essentially what we have right now.
So basically, we have to get from Snell to Roki, and then we go to Yamamoto to Roki, or maybe Yamamoto does another complete game, right? Because he's
Yeah.
capable of that. And then we're done, unless we have to go to a game 7, which would be Tyler Glass now, right?
Game seven might actually just be another bullpen
A
game.
bullpen game.
I can see Tyler Glass now getting the start, but I don't know if he goes 5 innings unless he's like really dialed in. But yeah, see this is all avoidable if your offense scores more frequently and often throughout the game. Then you limit what you can do and who guys get put into in action because if you score early and often, the stress is off the pitcher now. The pitcher can go out there loose, execute his game plan, kind of just fiddle around. But if you get into high leverage situations, now you're trusting your bullpen, and you already know these guys in the bullpen. I know they executed their game plan yesterday, but that it's starting to look like it was just like a miracle from God that nothing ended up happening. But I think Dave kind of looks down there and he's like, well, let's see what happens here. And he puts that guy in, and he's just going to end up dying with his bullpen, these options that he has there. I think tomorrow I would like to see Emmett Sheehan maybe. Justin Robleski has looked really good too as well. Those are two guys that I would like to see, even if it's just for like an inning, kind of just to bridge it to Roki. Two starters, even if it's for like the bottom of the lineup, I kind of like what I've seen from them. So those are two guys that I circle, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to see them one more time in his homestand.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit nervous because I think Dave Roberts takes a lot of heat for it's like, oh, he should just do this, he should just do that. But I mean, is there like a world where Dave can only do so much? Like he has only so many people he can pull from, and he doesn't have it's slim pickings this year.
Yeah, he can only do so much. He's also not up there swinging at the first pitch. He's not going up there leaving guys on base. He's not going up there swinging at balls in the dirt. He's not out there making errors. This is at the end of the day, it's on the players. Dave can execute a game plan. I know Andrew Friedman and those guys give him a game plan.
Yeah.
They follow it to a T. Sometimes they go off script. Dave kind of makes his own decisions as well too. But at the end of the day, it's those guys who are wearing the baseball uniform on the field. Those are the guys who can control the outcome of the game. Dave Roberts is not out there telling Max Muncy like, "Hey, pitching change. I know, you know what I want you to do? I want you to swing at the very first pitch he throws." He's not telling him that. These pitchers as well, or coaches as well too, are not telling these guys like, "Hey, you know what I want you to do? I know Ernie Clement can't hit this pitch. Why don't you just groove him one right here and let's see what he happens?" And then he bangs it off the wall for a double. They're not doing it. It's at the end of the day, it's on the players. The players have to execute the game plan. If they're not executing the game plan, they're going to find themselves in Cancun very soon.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I think that they have to kind of really get that in their heads after, they need to get a good night's rest. They probably didn't get the normal rest. We know Shohei likes to sleep, and he probably didn't get that full rest time last night. But if anyone who can turn it on from like one day to the next, and then we're just all kind of just marveling at what he can do, it is Shohei Ohtani. We know who Freddie Freeman is. We know who Mookie Betts is. We know who they are at their core. But if they're going to turn it on, it needs to happen, and it needs to happen now, or we're going to look back at this time where we had this incredible season that we came all the way to the World Series. We had it in the palm of our hand, and we let it slip away. And nobody wants that heartbreak. I got to say, if it did go to the Blue Jays, I wouldn't think it was a bad thing for them. They really played. They're an amazing team. It's not a fluke that they're there. But at the end of the day, I really think that we have it in the palm of our hands if tomorrow we can get it together. So, Blake Snell, I really do trust him. I really don't think that he'll have two shaky outings in a row. I really think that tomorrow's going to come back strong. But as you say, it's really up to our offense tomorrow. Just give him the run support, get it done. And I think that we'll be having a really different conversation 24 hours from now. But yeah, just some really things that kind of turn into like a little bit of a positive. Had you noticed Sandy Koufax has been there the last couple of nights uh, supporting Kershaw? And did you hear that he supported Klein when he went into the clubhouse after the game? So I know that Klein had a wonderful day, probably with, he was the man of the hour last night. And just talk to me about him. We may or may not see him for the rest of the series, but after kind of digesting last night, do you think that it's just like just the highlight of the series so far that we had him give us what he gave us last night?
Yeah, it's easily the highlight of the series. Second, probably being Will Smith's home run in game two, kind of broke it open for us offensively. But I got to give credit to Sandy Koufax as well too. First of all, he stayed the entirety of the game.
Fair game.
Uh, I looked at the traffic as well too after the game. They probably were stuck there for like an hour. He's in his upper 80s. I'm surprised he even came to this game as well too. But yeah, it tells you the kind of like Dodger legend he is and royalty he is. But again, all the credit to Will Klein, kind of put himself in a situation he never has been in. I think I was reading tweets that I think the last time he went 4 innings, he was still in high school or probably even in college before he transitioned to a bullpen piece. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing that you have that effort last night and you followed up with this stinker tonight, basically. It could have given you all the momentum you needed to probably secure yourself a world championship here tomorrow. But yeah, credit to Will Klein for getting the job done. It's actually been pretty cool to kind of see not a normal face. Like normally you'll see like Shohei, you'll see Freddie Freeman, you'll see Mookie Betts kind of do all these interviews. Now you kind of see Will Klein. It's the first time I think a lot of Dodger fans
Mhm.
are getting to know Will Klein. I know he was with us early on in the season, but then he went back down to AAA, and then he got brought back up here towards the end of the season to see if he had anything, and he's now on the World Series roster. So it's kind of like a little cool story here for him.
I think it is. And I think that that is something that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, listening to kind of like just his kind of talk when he did his presser and how he just never could even dream of being in this situation. And if the end, this all comes out and shakes out in our favor, I think that we're going to give him, a lot of props for even like being a nice bridge to that. So definitely excited to see where his future lies with the Dodgers. But I haven't even had a chance to ask you yet, and I meant to. How did you do at work today with the little sleep that we all got last night?
It was a very sluggish. I was looking for a bullpen visit myself after my first 2 hours. It was rough. I apologize in my work group chat as well too. Last night, I'm like, hey, if it's a half-ass effort for me, I apologize because I just don't have it. It didn't help either. That it was super hot. It was a hot day, and yesterday was kind of very gloomy and like I thought it's like one of those teasers, like, oh yeah, like fall weather is here, and then like you get hit with like a 90 mile or 90 degree heat wave here today. But yeah, it was kind of a rough one. Today won't or tomorrow won't be rough, and I've kind of like we've talked about it. I've already kind of flushed it. Today's game is already flushed in my head. I'm moved on to tomorrow. I really don't want to gripe too much about it anymore. I feel like all you do is just think negatively. Tomorrow's the new day. We have Blake Snell going for us, and I'm very confident we'll get a win tomorrow. So, yeah, rough day at work. Probably won't be a rough day tomorrow because I'm probably gonna get my proper sleep tonight. But yeah, it's all worth it. This is the playoffs. This is the World Series. There was years back then when I was like in my teenage years in my early 20s where like I wasn't getting any World Series games. I was always the standby kind of just fan, like on the outside, always looking in. Like so, I'm not gonna complain I didn't get enough sleep last night, but it was worth it to experience what happened last night. So yeah, hopefully we get a win tomorrow, and I'm excited about what's gonna happen on the weekend.
And it was a classic game. I mean, no matter how this all shakes out, it was considered one of the greatest postseason games in history, kind of like the Shohei game from the NLCS. And we have been treated to some incredible things. And I kind of just want, it always goes back to Kershaw. Kershaw only has a few games left at best, right? And I don't want his last few games to go out without, with heartbreak. And so I still think that they're fighting for each other. I still think that they want to win. They have the will and the drive to win. And I really just have hope that there's going to be a turnaround tomorrow, and we're just going to be one more win away from a title. So that's kind of where I want to stay in my headspace, because I really feel like there's a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot of good still. So I know our Twitter, Dodger Twitter might be a little bit in the doomsday, thinking that things might not go our way, but it'll be all right. We still have a lot of hope. The series is tied 2-2, and I think the guys will get it done. But yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any answer to this on your end, but are there any positives we can take away from tonight's game?
Any positives? Man,
Bright spots?
bright spots. I think the only bright spot was Shohei's 6 innings of work. He kind of let loose that 7th inning, but other than that, yeah, there's really just no, because the offense was so bad. I guess the only bright spot, I hate to say it, game's over. Game's over, and we can just move on. I mean, they did rally a little bit off Louis Varlin here at the very end, so maybe they're starting to see him very well. But and Muncy got that double. But yeah, I think that's the only bright spot, that they rallied here at the end. At least they showed some sign of life towards the end of this ball game. So hopefully they're able to build off that for tomorrow. But not a
Yeah.
lot of positives tonight. Well, I guess I got a positive for you. The game's not going to go on till midnight. That's your positive. It's 8:41 and the game's already over.
I will take that. So we're all going to get a decent sleep tonight, and we're going to feel a little bit normal tomorrow. So that includes our guys. And yeah, I still think that it's all going to shake out. But yeah, let's all just get to bed and to, kind of just turn the page, flush it, as you say. And as they all say, when Mookie gets his pressers, he always goes, "We don't think about it. It's done. We're going to move on, and we're going to win this game tomorrow." So that's going to leave it there. Your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. You have one game left at Dodger Stadium. Go out with a bang. Whatever you do, I don't care if the score is 10-0, if it's 2-0, if it's 3-4, whatever. Just find a way to win tomorrow. That's all you have to do. By hook or by crook, throw up a W on that board and send the home fans happy, at least the last time they get to see you for the 2025 season, unless they're going to travel up to Toronto, but I really doubt that anyone's going to travel out to Toronto. But find a way to win tomorrow's game. That's all I'm asking. That's my final thought. Just find a way to throw up a W.
That reminds me of when they have to win. Like, think about the Padres last year in the NLDS. They knew they could not lose, and they found a way. So tomorrow we go up 3-2. You find a way, Dodgers, and you make it happen, because we're not ready to go out just yet. So that's what I'll leave it with as well. Let's all get a good night's rest. And yeah, definitely make sure to check out Cody, who will be back with us tomorrow for the post game. Check out his and Steve Webb's articles on DodgersBeat.com. Make sure to check out the Bleed Lows Podcast Network for all of the pregame and postgame interviews and footage that our producer Roger gathers for you all every day. Make sure to check out our handles. You can find me, Drea, at Ravine Queen 1958. You can find Anthony on X and Instagram at Anthony Acosta _. And until tomorrow, where there will be a win, let's go Dodgers.